So hello guys, for today's video I wanted to show you some cool trap sort of variation that I found in the Hillbilly against the Caro-Kann. Basically, you kind of won't get this, you have to play really dubious move to go into it, but it's still interesting just as a case study, and I also want to reveal what you usually should play um, against the um, against the Hillbilly attack. So Hillbilly attack is e4, c6, bishop c4, d5, and most people don't really know why they bring their bishop out, so they just take and they just have a worse position. But there's actually a trap here. If you go back with the bishop, black takes, you play queen here, and then you're basically threatening this f7 pawn, and this is the database with the 2200s, and most people see that this is attacked for 2200 and play knight, don't play knight f6, but instead play the best move g6. And the idea, almost everyone plays this, is to go back with queen h4. And if you play what most people play here is knight f6, you will see 88% of people play knight f6 to protect this pawn, which is attacked by this queen. But it's actually not such a good move. Better move is bishop f5, and I will say why in a second. So, oops, yeah, knight f6 is slightly inaccurate. I guess I can then also say this is inaccurate. And you might think the Hillbilly is actually bad, but if you look here at the win rate, bishop b3, 50% to 43. So even though objectively engine says this is losing, this is actually white still scores decently with this. And okay, we do prepare for the trap here though. So here people will either play knight c3 or f3 to exchange this pawn and turn this into a gambit and attack you on the open f file. But what we're interested in is this variation with knight c3. And here most people play this bishop here to protect here, but we can also go here with this queen. As you see, bishop f5 is played by 53% of people and has a good win rate for white. White just has a lot of pressure on this variation. And queen d4 almost no one plays because it has a drawback, which I think should be somewhat obvious. The drawback is that you're pinned along this file, sorry, along this rank. And most people, these are 2200, so these are pretty strong players. Most people either play knight f3, f3 or d3. All three of these moves sort of exploit this pin. You can't take because the queen would be hanging. So all of three of these moves seem good, but actually one of them is a huge blunder. And you can, well, not a huge blunder, but a mistake. And you can maybe pause the video and see which one you think it is. So the best move here is actually d3, but most people play f3 because this is sort of the move that you usually play in this variation. And as you can see, this is actually minus 0.7 now after it was plus 0.7. And the reason is that you can actually just take this pawn. And the idea is, yes, your queen is hanging, but if they take the queen, you can actually go here and you literally cannot defend this rook. So you can't go here or here to protect this diagonally or protect the rook diagonally. So you're actually going to lose a rook and your opponent is going to get a queen. So what people can try here is knight d5. The idea is if you make a queen now, then you will immediately get checkmated here, because this is cut off. And if you take this, for example, then when white takes, they are backward protecting this rook. And if you take again, then queen is also backward protecting this rook. So yes, this of course gets the brilliant annotation. And here after knight d5, the best move is knight bd7. And originally the engine didn't even see, like when I put it on multiple lines, the engine didn't even see that this is a, it was putting black at minus 0 point something. It didn't even see that this was completely winning. Yeah, knight bd7. And there's literally nothing you can do. You can give this check. There's, I don't know. Okay, well, the sad part is the one person in this data played CD. So let's just try to include more games. Did this happen again? Yeah, knight bd7, of course, deserves an exclam. It's the only move. Well, it isn't. I mean, this isn't as bad of a blunder as the other blunder, but it's. I mean, I would, yeah. I would recommend not playing that. Or c takes d5, which is basically the same as knight takes d5. Yeah, so knight bd7, and you can't do anything. You can try knight c7 check here, but you just move. You win the rook, but you get a queen. And yes, there's one game in this position that white still won, but if you look at the material, black is up 2 pawns, and this knight in the corner is trapped. So you should be able to win this with black. Now, of course, what is actually the best move against the hillbilly is g6 here, and then bishop f5, which I'm surprised these are like 2200 and 2500. So you would think these are strong players, but only 2% of them find bishop f5. And the idea is you want to play e6 and trade this, right? And you can't play, you can't trade this if you play knight f6. So most people here play the move that's actually not immediately losing, but immediately throws away any winning chances for white, which is knight c3, because after e6 you're threatening this trade. And you can play queen g3 to get out of this trade, but this is, yeah, if you just trade, then black is just up a pawn. If you play queen g3, then black gets a ton of activity here with bishop d6. Oh, no, bishop d6 isn't best. I guess knight f6 is, no? Okay, apparently I'm just bad at chess. Yeah, no, knight f6 was best, okay. And if they play the more correct move, which is f3, you can still play e6 anyway. Wait, sorry. You take and then you play e6. And then you also have this motive of literally just being up 1 pawn in an endgame. So this, as you can see from the win rates, this should be enough for black to get an advantage instead of the main line after knight f6, where you can see that white actually wins most of the time. Okay, thanks guys for the video, and if you actually get this trap in a game, then tell me about it. You can kind of get this trap after bishop f5 here and here, but it's an even worse version. f3, if you take now, then white has some resources. So you get this position, but here the sacrifices actually work. So if you try something like, by the way, this rook is hanging, which is funny. I think if you try knight d5 here, no, knight d5 doesn't work, right? Yeah, but this works, right? Because this is protecting the rook, and this knight isn't here to do anything about this. But I think you can take this, takes, and then I think the move was knight a6. No, okay. What was I thinking about? But here you can just play knight c6. What was this line with knight a6? Oh, sorry, I mean take. But here knight a6 makes no sense. Okay, I don't know what I'm smoking, but knight c6. I guess I was thinking about a line where I tried to play, yeah, I was thinking about knight b5, but I don't think most people would find this. Yeah, here you can play knight a6. You have this extremely weird imbalance where you have rook, bishop, and pawn versus queen, and the position just looks like nothing. And of course, everyone here would play long castles. I mean, that is just so obvious, right? And then you get some initiative here as black. I don't know. Some very weird moves. Yeah, but I think, I don't know. Would people find knight b5? I feel like it's difficult. I mean, even I forgot about it. Here you have the advantage of putting the knight on a better square. So, you know. But, yeah, it's a risky line, because in this variation, queen d4 is actually really bad after d3. So it's getting into a lot of risk for not really a good reward, like you're not even really winning in this variation. Alright, thanks for watching, and tell me if you ever get this trap in a game. See ya.